Hello. I was just gonna give a tour of my All the Mods 3 remix base. Uh, I've been playing in this world on and off for a few months. I always seem to come back to it and do a bit more work on it. So I'm gonna start the tour so you can see the cottage behind me. I named it. This island is called Grassley. This is my original base. That was my starter 9x9, the nice thatch roof. And I started expanding out from there. So why don't we just go around and have a look at a few things. All right. So with this mod pack, I made my own progression, and I kind of wrote what order I'm allowed to play mods in. So I have to use a mod before I can unlock a mod at a higher tier. And mostly that was based on forcing myself to play certain mods that I never seemed to get around to using. So I had an area here where I was doing I think it's agricraft. Is that the one? Um, but I've trashed it. This is kind of because this was a starter base. I do a lot of experimenting here, so things can be messy. I was doing doing the seeds and trying to get them up, but man, that's boring. Um, so the original cottage, there's not a lot left in here. I don't come in here too often anymore. I have my bees, really, is all I'm doing. This is where I keep the pristine stock bee lines that I've managed to breed. So far, I've done all this through just manual breeding. I'm using, I can show you later too. I'll go over there and look at some other stuff. Um, I don't think there's anything else in here I want to show you right now. So the next building I built after this cottage was I built the workshop, which is back here. It's changed a few times. You can see I had it set up as a Binny's slash forestry distillery going, but I've kind of put that project on hold. This is where I process all of my forestry stuff, and my honeycombs go in there, and then this is what I've processed so far. I have a little setup for making, what's that called? Ethanol? Yeah, ethanol. Cyclic was one of the early mods that I was able to use. I'd never played it before. It's pretty neat. It seems super overpowered and not always reliable with other mods, so I've kind of slowly scaled it away. Except for these wireless transfer nodes, there's a fluid, energy, and item one. Using those, I've been able to. So one of my things I've done in this playthrough is I've tried to make bases spread out, but still kind of pooling things like my items and energy and stuff. So these things are amazing for that. A bit overpowered again, but who cares? They're kind of fun. And then I've never really done this. I've always wanted to. It's kind of a horrible, clunky process. The Binny's bee genetics. So I've got it to the point where I'm starting to get some, what do they call it? Traits? Building up my gene database. So eventually I'm going to try to use something from this database, see if I got anything neat to inject it into a bee and make like a genetically modified bee. But this pack has gendistry in it, so really I'm just doing this to experience it and say that I did it. And it's kind of neat, but gendistry is definitely where I'm heading. There's like, see, those are like awful. It's, this is definitely true to the idea of forestry, where it's a lot of, I don't know, I'm gonna say the word tedious, but it's kind of fun too. I don't even know what that chest is doing up there. Neat. I've had long periods where I haven't played this pack. I've done other things and come back, so sometimes I'm not sure what I've done. Butterflies, ugh, I wish there was a way to restrict those or turn them off. Down here I had to have a little, I think I had to make mushrooms for something. This is my little mushroom. I don't know, I can't get in there. Mushroom brewing. Oh wow, okay. Oh my god, it's full of butterflies. I'm just gonna, while I'm here, get rid of those guys. Try to keep the population down. Good luck getting rid of them and not harvesting. Oh well, I might as well. I think if I harvest these, they'll grow back. I use mushrooms quite a bit. I think they're used for making cheese with one of the mods I have. And I don't have any food on me right now, but cheese gives you a nice boost. Bacon cheeseburgers, whatever. Pizza. Is he on the other side? No. Out here, I'm not sure why I put those there, but I'm doing tropical bee breeding. I thought I'd be safe. Still haven't got a... Thought I'd be safe breeding them out here, but I noticed one day I started getting stung in my house, and I didn't know. I forgot about that bee back there, and I didn't know what was going on. Thought it was... Oh shoot. Sorry, bee. What happened there? Thought it was some kind of radiation that was killing me. It took me a while to figure out the bee was poisoning me. Wow, these butterflies definitely have overrun the place. And see, they all like to go up on the roof too. I'm not gonna chase them around right now. Here, this has been my garden. I've used a couple different things to run this. The typical sprinkler, open block sprinkler. These are cool from random things. The pitcher plants, they slowly fill a block beside them with water. Kind of neat. Oh, and I even got into Binny plant breeding. So these are Binny genetics plants. Oh, that's neat. I don't even know what that is. I don't remember how to use any of this. So I've made a few plants. It's all just weeds right now, but I'm gonna get this little bugger. I'm gonna go back to that at some point. I strung up engineer powered lantern from immersive engineering. So I don't have any I don't think I have any issues at all with mob spawning. I can work all night on my little Grassley refuge island, and I haven't had any bad encounters. Here's my bee setup. I'm gonna probably scrap all this and move it to a different base. I'm gonna expand my Botania over to here. And right now my bees are I just started getting into career bees. This is my first one, my student bee. Kind of want to spend some time doing that, but I don't know if I want to do it here. Some spectral trees from random things. Started a little bit of mystical agriculture. These trees are probably heavily pollinated. I was breeding them a little bit to get walnut trees a while ago. My Botania setup, still fairly basic. I just set up the enchanter over there. That's a newer building up there. We'll go look at that later. I'm going to try to show it to you in the order, roughly in the order that I built stuff. So one of my first mods that I really spent a lot of time delving into, which I enjoyed quite a bit, is Rustic. So this is the Rustic cottage. I tried to make it out of all blocks from Rustic, and it's all Rustic plants and even bees over here. Herbs. Yeah, this was a fun little build. Rustic's a really fun little mod. All these cool things like the chandelier. I love it. It can make potions. It has a nice simple brewing system for potions. It's really fun. And then back here, I was just doing a little bit of roots. I think I'm going to set up a roots base when I go to the Twilight Forest and kind of make that my roots location. So I spent a lot of time in Rustic brewing alcohol. So you kind of use these brewing things. Do I have anything running? So wine there, quality 98. So you brew it in these barrels, and then you're hoping to get a higher quality than what you put in. So this one actually went down. And these are useful for different things. Here, let me drink this wine since it's garbage anyways. It's only 98% purity. Oh, I am inebriated. That might not... I don't know why I got drunk after one drink, but I guess I haven't drank for a while. Oh, and you can see I put my nether entrance out there on an island. I have my mining dimension. Whoa, that was not supposed to happen. This is my sugarcane thing. Got a little fishy thing going here. Ooh, mending, unbreaking, kind of neat. I should come out and spend some time out here, give it some love. This one you need to put worms in. It's kind of annoying, but wow, good fish. I don't want to gather that stuff up right now. Oh yeah, you can see I just recently started Astral Sorcery. It's cool, the constellations. And that's my mining dimension entrance. I think I'm going to go inside and have a nap. I don't want to walk around in the dark. So that's Grassley. So the original cottage I think went to here, and this is my big addition. This beam I can't move without, I can't remember why I can't move that, but different times I've wanted to just rip down this whole starter building and get going again, but I've been playing this world long enough, I feel like it has like archaeological value. Ugh, I hate building roofs. I've really tried to not live under the ground on this playthrough. I've forced myself to try and build buildings and actually finish them and put roofs on them. Okay, so this is my farming area over here. I had this walkway here. It was just single space and walking. So I just recently unlocked Dark Utilities, and these vector plates are so great for getting across here. Here we go. So I'm not walking. This is hands-free travel. I'll just turn myself. I think it's hilarious. It looks like they're going to slide, but the sound effects, it makes it sound like your feet are shuffling around really fast. So over here I did farming kind of stuff. Some of this is new. Maybe we'll look at it later. I just really had a pen here. Oh, those are loud. It's just a pen that I threw animals in as I collected them and needed stuff. This is recent too. I set up a Steve's Cart tree farm. I want to do more with Steve's Cart. This is really all I've ever done with it in any playthrough is make the same tree farm, which I kind of copied from Dire Wolf. But yeah, this thing is not efficient in any way. I have it loading and burning wood as its fuel, but it's generating a surplus for me, and I'm not doing anything right now that requires massive amounts of wood. I might want to refine this later and make it so that it turns this into charcoal, some of it at least, and then feeds that into the cart, just for, the aesthetics. This is my Between Lands portal. Kind of a neat place. I spent a lot of time in the Between Lands. I really wanted to learn that mod. So I'll probably take you there at some point. Again, Cyclic was my beginning, one of my earliest mods, and it's pretty useful. It has cool stuff. It's like I said, it just doesn't, I don't know. If you use lag goggles, the blocks all look very laggy, and their pipes are, it's just a bit overpowered for my tastes in terms of mods. But yeah, I ran my base on this from this peat farm. This peat farm reminds me of the old forestry farms, which I liked a lot. I couldn't quite automate this. I tried so many different ways. It's just the slots, putting them into these slots. I couldn't find a block that would put them in the right slot. I tried a few different methods. Some of this is taken apart too, so it's not quite representative of, that's empty, of what it used to do. But anyways, none of that's functioning right now. I used to have a cyclic tree farm over here, which again was insanely productive. So, well, I might as well show you this one here. So this is I try to usually be ethical when I play. Like, try not to be too mean unless I'm playing my mean character. Anyway, so this is my Dark Utilities mob meat processing. So cows on top. So far, I still have to feed them by hand. I don't have any automatic feeders yet. I'm just gonna turn down. Let's turn down the animal sounds. Hostile, friendly creature sounds. See what that does. I think that helps. So they're on a block called Baby Filter from dark utilities. So any babies will fall through these black blocks. They'll drop down. So when I breed, as soon as they make a baby, they fall through there. Then they go to the next level, which is hidden here. And yes, it's a dark, horrible hole that babies drop into. I don't know, I might try to make it nicer. This is still kind of a prototype I built, so usually the first time I build something it's a bit of a mess. So this one is an inverted baby filter, so adults fall through it. So when the babies grow up and turn into adults, they fall through there, and this is horrible. They fall onto these vector plates which push them onto that golden spike and kill them. This hopper picks up the drops, and this sucks up the experience points, and boom, automated farming. I could do this to get meat for all of the pigs, chickens, cows, maybe mutton. I don't know if mutton is worth farming, but anyways, this area over here is going to probably, it's kind of small, right? So I don't know. I might move my whole animal section to a new base at some point and have just like a ranch style base, because I don't know, what else would I do over here? I guess I need more space is the problem. So we'll just go back. I have a little peace candle I found from random things. Those are awesome. I've only found one, and even though I've probably been to like 10 villages. You can't make them, you can only find them in a village, but they stop spawning within a certain range. So I had to make this 2 lanes so I could get back with my vectors. It was annoying before. I would try to run across this really fast and always fall off, but now it's just cruising. I think I need to do, so yeah, for my water for up in here, again, I like to try to have stuff look a little bit realistic, so I have cyclic pumping water in as if it's coming from the lake, and then that puts water in here. It actually puts water into that wireless node, which then lets me click on, like, wirelessly transmit water to any machines that need it. It's kind of nice. It reduces the cabling, but not super realistic. So here, let me grab this. Well, realism, I guess, isn't it. It's more, I don't know, it's kind of neat, actually. I really like that for certain functions. Like I do that, so this item node here, anything this thing harvests goes into the chest and then pumped up into here, and it goes straight into my storage system. I don't know, sometimes I feel like it's a bit cheaty and it'd be more fun to have pipes everywhere, but for the design aesthetic of having kind of a distributed base, these make it really make it easier. So I also do that with power. I don't know if I showed that. Where's my battery? So under here, let me see. Here's my pick. This is my favorite. This I've never built. So immersive engineering is a mod I've gone into, and I've never made their power drill before. It's like the coolest looking thing. It's pretty nice. I like the fuel gauge down in the bottom right there. It runs on diesel. Yeah, it's a cool tool. But it always, by default, it breaks in a 3x3, and I'm always wrecking stuff. Okay, it's over here. So this battery is from Cyclic, and it's wirelessly linked back to another battery, so that I have a centralized power distribution, and then it gets distributed wirelessly to wherever I need it. So it feeds this line of machines. And this water one puts water into over here into the carpenters and a couple other spots. So when this is all working, I never have to look at it. Boom. These suck up a lot of power, so let's see, what are you missing? Do I want to play with this? DNA? Oh yeah, it's just polymerizing bacteria. Where does that go? That goes into the here. 270. This is, yeah, see, I won't quite fit. Okay, I don't want to get sidetracked here. So what next? So the next area that I built after I moved off this island was, so this was called Grassley. I made this nice sign just for this, just for visitors. This Bibliocraft, falling in love with it all over again. It's such a nice mod. I never knew you could do this, or maybe I did and forgot, but put icons on the signs. It's kind of cool. This was a beanstalk I grew. Actually, it gives me access to my roof. Ow. I guess that telephone pole, I could also climb that. Did I take damage? I shouldn't have. Usually there's butterflies all over this roof. Seem to have cleared them out. Okay, I'm gonna get down. Boom. Used to have stuff all over here. I've created a centralized storage. Oh, there's still stuff in here. And moved it all up into there, but oh my god, that was a nightmare. That was a fiasco. So anyways, so this was a super cool thing. So the flue bricks from Random Things, it kind of imitates the Harry Potter traveling through chimneys. So if I wanted to be more aesthetically pleasing, I would make this into a chimney, which I might do someday. So you just go in and you go to the chat and you just type in the name of the place you want to go to. So the next place I built is across the water and it's called Smelton. So Smelton was built, this lava pool here used to be on the surface, and sorry. So this is where I built, this was the second building I built after Grassley, and it's for Tinker's Construct. For my smeltery, I had a nice source of lava. It seemed to be kind of cool. Oh, the stove is awesome. I haven't used that before. This is I think it's the first time I built it. Cooking large amounts of stone and stuff, that thing's great. And then I do my tool repair, actually. Cobalt. Have some cobalt. I better fix up my pick. It's hard when I'm playing not to get distracted by little chores. There we go. Always repair with nuggets so that you only use exactly what you need. If you use bars, it wastes it. Okay, so then Smelton was the first building while I was doing Tinkers, and then Immersive Engineering as a mod I've always wanted to try and never got into much, but I spent a lot of time playing with it in this mod pack. So then I built this base for the longest time only up to where the red was. This was kind of just an open top structure. I've recently have done a lot of renovating over here and moved out a lot of equipment. It was so crammed in here. You can see my crazy wiring job. But yeah, I finally put a roof on it just recently. Made this little room back here. This used to be where along this wall were my blast furnace and coke oven. Oh, is it nighttime again already? So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. So this system here is neat. So this input chest, you throw stuff in here and it'll go along the conveyor. This will sort stuff. This is just taking out clay and sand and doing something with it. I'm not sure what. But anyways, stuff, I can throw ore in here. It goes along, gets put through here, gets crushed. Comes out here, goes into another router. Some of it gets routed this way, some gets routed towards this furnace. I have two furnaces here, that's neat. And I have an external heater to heat those up. So the ore gets in here, most of it will come out this way. It'll get dumped into this hopper and then get thrown into here. And this was an overflow hopper. So if I throw too much in here and it's not processing it and this hopper's full, it'll just get dumped into here and sit in this chest, and then I can manually move it. Yeah, and this item transfer node goes directly into my storage system. And I also have this back in my main storage area. I have one of these item transfers and it's linked to here. So if I'm in my storage crafting area, which is back at Grassley up on the hill there, and throw a bunch of ore into a chest, it appears here and gets processed and sent back to Grassley. So if I need like 30 iron and I don't have it, I can throw it in. Well, I'll show you that. I'm getting ahead. I should show you that when I'm over there in the storehouse. But anyways, another thing I'm trying to do is for each of my bases, I'm color coding the beds. For Grassley, I'm going with green, which I haven't. Grassley is due for a renovation. This Smelton has been recently renovated, so it's a bit more up to my aesthetic that I'm going for with the beds and stuff, but whatever. It's just minor things. So then recently I unlocked Tech Reborn and Industrial Craft. Kind of fun mods. They remind me of the old days. So I've started a machine line here, playing with it. What's cool with Tech Reborn is that, like, this is a Tech Reborn generator. I can click on here and I can change its output from EU to RF. So these generators can kind of be used only one at a time, but you can use them for both types of power. So I'm using that because I have a surplus of gasoline to power this stuff. This is still at the experimental stage. I'm just building machines and playing with them. I haven't really automated or done much with this. This is about how much I would build for a mod to then say that I've unlocked it and I can move on to another mod. And then this used to be a mess over here. I was making biofuel, but this is all currently disconnected because I switched to diesel using immersive petroleum. This is a cool block I want to experiment with more, the assembler. It's super handy for building stuff that requires a fluid input. So my treated wood and my asphalt, I think concrete I'll eventually have over here. It just makes it so fast. It's so nice. I'll get stumped into here. Seared stone is just here because I was using it in, I think, my roof or something for this building. I just stored it there. It gets made in the smeltery over there. So here you can see I had to change my render distance. I used to be able to see my Grassley across the water, but it would cause a lag issue whenever I got too close and the chunks loaded. So I've turned my distance down. I wonder if I could turn that back up just to show how close it is. Options, video. I had it at like 14. So let's see. Boom, there it is. So you can see Grassley is just over there. It's kind of neat. I'll leave that on, see if I don't have any issues. So initially this whole building, or the little machines I had, were powered by, I had like a thermal, the IE thermal generator there, and then this windmill outside. Get out here. So this is all fairly new area. The advanced coke oven, and this is for making steel and coke, coal coke. Love these tanks. Filling up on creosote. I have to find more things to do with that. And then, I also, my favorite thing, which I've also never done, is the ore sampling and the, what is this called? Excavator. This is a cool machine. And it has its own dedicated diesel engine. So whenever I need to get iron, I come over with a jerry can filled with diesel and pour it into here, and this thing runs. And this is an iron block, an iron chunk. So it gets me tin, iron, and nickel. Tons of, this is a great machine, and especially for getting specific ores. It's totally made me rich and self-sufficient in iron. I don't have to mine for it anymore. I've done a bunch of core samples. That's what these signs are, is what I found in that chunk. This was my original windmill that powered everything that was over here. So I've thought about moving it or taking it down, but again, like Grassley, it's like an archaeological... okay, sorry. So this is, I need to put signs up. This is a high voltage wire, and you can't insulate those, so you get shocked by them. And I've always been meaning to put signs up to remind myself not to run into them, which I just almost did. That's just to get power, distribution network. I'm gonna go back. Well, I guess I'll come this way. So, I'll just show you this process. This is all automated. So it starts here with, oh, I need to put some lube in there. This is from Immersive Petroleum. So there's a petroleum reserve under here, and this pulls it up, pumps out oil, and fills this tank. So when this tank is full, this emits a redstone signal and shuts off that. I've got this fairly well automated, and then this oil gets pumped into here. I wonder if these gauges are real. I don't think so. This is a distillery full of oil, so when I flick that on, let's flick it on, it'll start generating, it turns oil into lubricant, diesel, and gasoline. I'm going to turn that off because I don't want to leave it on. And then there's a waste product of, can I see what that is? No. Yeah, of bitumen. So this is just a immersive item. What is that called? Silo. So the bitumen gets chucked into here. I use that for making asphalt. I don't know if it's used for anything else. And these are high voltage wires up here, so I want to put up a reminder saying don't high voltage overhead kind of warning, because I have jumped into them or flown into them before. Anyway, so the excess lube goes into this tank, excess gasoline goes into here. I'm not burning enough gas to use it up. And then the diesel goes into here. So I usually try to keep around a little bit more than that topped up of diesel as a reserve. And then this is my redstone contraption. Not hard to set up, but it was something new for me to figure out using the mods that were unlocked. So Forge, the Project Red is my main thing I'm using, a comparator. So the comparator monitors one of these capacitors, and if it gets over 80% full, it shuts off the generator. If it gets under 20%, it turns it on. And that's just using these comparators and the redstone setup. That was kind of fun to figure out. I'm not super logical, so it was a cool challenge. And then the diesel generator supplies to that block, and then that takes power into the base and out to these other machines. So if this blew up, I'd have no power at all, because this power also gets, through the wireless transfer nodes, gets sent over to Grassley. So if there's any terrorists out there, blow this up and I'm doomed. This is a cool thing, the floodlight from Immersive Engineering. It really lights up a big area. It's kind of neat. And I set it up on I don't think these sensors really work that well, but so when the light level, and I'm using a comparator, these advanced redstone torches from Random Things are awesome for redstone contraptions because you can set the actual strength. So you don't have to do those long distance runs with normal redstone to make signal strength work. So this is another comparator. So when the light level gets to 10, it turns on my floodlight. So yeah, is there anything else over here? I don't think so. So yeah, so Smelton was base number 2. And I just recently went through the big, like my most recent, like right now playing, is when I redid all of these immersive engineering and automated all of this stuff. A lot of this stuff was all crammed inside the bottom floor of that building. It was insane. And then I have my mines out here from the old days when there was a lot of cave systems and tunnels that I often died in. Yeah, this was my original, the third hole mine, where I would go down and do the standard branch and exploration mining. The actual spawn point for this world is up on that, like literally on the cliff face up there. Like, so I think out of my first 3 deaths were from falling off that cliff. And my very, very first starter base actually is on the very top of that mountain. Before I kept getting killed, and there used to be primitive mods used to be in this pack, and wasn't familiar with those mods. I think a harpy killed me. I had those pink slime things that jump on your head and eat your brain. That killed me. So I was getting killed quite a bit, and that's when I went over to that island where Grassley is, and then managed to get a foothold in this world. Primitive mods has been removed now, and I'm happy for that. I don't really like that, the mobs that adds to the game. So yeah, that's kind of my original starting basis. So I think I'll call it quits for this video. I do have another base where I do blood magic, electro blobs, wizardry, embers. I think just those three. I can take you to show you those another time and show you my storehouse. Also, I recently started an astral sorcery base. I think that's all I have. So yeah, we can look at those another time. Anyways, I hope you liked having a look around, and I'll talk to you later.